Today we're talking about how music shapes children, not just their skills or their knowledge, but their character, their habits, their loves, their inner lives, their selves. If you're a classical educator, you already know that education is about shaping souls, not just checking academic boxes. And music has a unique power to do exactly that. So let's talk about the 5 big ways music builds virtue, depth, empathy, perseverance, and a stronger inner life in our children. First, music trains in the habit of attention. We talk a lot in classical education about restoring attention in an age of constant distraction. Well, music is one of the best and most natural tools for this. Listening deeply to music requires a child to slow down, notice patterns, follow development, and hold ideas in their mind over time. Whether they're listening to a Bach fugue or a theme in a movie score, they're learning to track meaning and form. This is the same mental habit they need for reading great books, observing nature, or participating in thoughtful conversation. Music strengthens the muscles of sustained focus that every classical home is trying to cultivate. Second, music fosters empathy and emotional understanding. Music is an art form that communicates emotion directly, without words. When your child listens to a Mozart adagio or slow movement, a soaring hymn, or a stirring film score, they're practicing emotional perception. They're learning to recognize subtle shades of feeling, longing, hope, grief, triumph, tenderness, joy. This develops empathy in 2 ways. First, they learn to recognize emotional complexity, and children who can notice this in music can notice it in people. Second, performing or singing with others requires them to adjust, blend, and respond, constantly tuning their own expression to the group. This kind of sensitivity is a life skill. Music gently trains the ability to understand others, to listen beneath the surface, and to respond thoughtfully. Third, music builds perseverance through worthwhile challenge. We live in a world full of easy entertainment. One click, one tap, instant gratification. Music out in the world is often presented in the form of standalone single phrases that are catchy and memorable. Classical music offers children something radically different, a beautiful challenge. Mastering a passage, learning to sing in tune, developing rhythm, or even simply learning to identify instruments by ear, or give a deep, thoughtful listen to a piano piece or symphony. These take time, patience, repetition. And unlike scrolling, they reward you with depth. They provide more than a quick burst of dopamine. They reach something deeper inside you, something that may not even be accessed all that often. Music teaches children that good things require effort, and that effort leads to something meaningful. It shows them that depth is more rewarding than ease, and that working through difficulty brings delight on the other side. This is character formation at its best. Fourth, music shapes taste and moral imagination. Classical educators know that what our children love shapes who they become. Music helps form these loves. Beauty isn't just decoration, it's nourishment for the soul. When children are regularly exposed to great music of all kinds, folk songs, hymns, classical masterworks, spirituals, and film scores, they develop an instinct for beauty over noise. They learn what harmony sounds like, what order feels like, what proportion, intention, and resolution mean. These aren't just musical concepts. They mirror the moral and spiritual structure of reality. Music forms a child so they can recognize beauty and eventually seek to live a life that reflects it. Fifth, music helps children understand themselves. Music gives children a space to process emotions in a healthy way. It helps them experience joy, sorrow, peace, excitement, and contemplation, all within a meaningful framework. When a child says, This piece just sounds like how I feel. That's actually the beginning of emotional awareness and vocabulary. Music gives them tools to understand their own inner world, and that is a foundation for emotional growth and maturity. Music isn't just something nice to add to your homeschool week. It's not a bonus, it's one of the richest tools we have for character formation. If you're looking for a way to build a beautiful, meaningful classical music education, especially if you don't have a musical background, my course MusicIQ is created to make this easy and enjoyable. I've linked to it below, and I hope you'll check it out. Thanks for joining me today. I'll see you next time.